spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. If you don't want to know this, shut up. To go away.
Shut up.
Wait, I'm
specifically, a certain planet will be used, and Lord I hate that guy's name. The Emperor will be
Vishet.
an
Vishet.
Vishet. Okay, Lord Vishet will be an off-screen influence on the main villain of 7.
Yay!
The first step, although it won't be obvious how,
hold
to
on.
SWTOR's ending has begun in Forged Alliances. Yes, there is going to be an ending, and it will be approximately in 3.5 years.
Hang on.
So
I'll
3.5
take
To the
years.
Old Republic?
I'll
Yes.
take that.
Yes. They have a plan to. There is a end date, and there is a sequel already in development, apparently.
Hold on, so on that
Um,
date, is that when they're going to stop making new content,
Yes.
or is that
No,
when they're going to
just-
take the servers down?
Like the Old Republic
Yes.
too?
Yes.
I gave an all.
They should really
Well,
make a second
the
Old
latter.
Republic.
The latter. So the next 3 years are going to see an increase in funding as the game is brought back in line with initial expectations.
Put all my gear.
All those pixels. And
Crap,
what
I
is going
spent
to
so many years
happen
of my life
is
getting.
Let us speak.
SWTOR will run for as long as players want it to, up to that point, with dynamic and scaling endgame content coming in, but the focus will shift to SWTOR 2 and it will run on Frostbite 3.
Put my leveling time.
So Battlefield 4/Dragon Age 3 engine. The personal stories will somewhat continue in the next major expansion, and each of them will have a quotation mark ending. Your current character, all your characters will appear in the upcoming MMO.
Hold on, so we can transfer our characters from this one to the next one?
No. And they will each character will have an ending, but they will show up in various forms as like Force Ghosts or Holocrons. As of right now, only one class will actually survive
Bueno will never die.
until SWTOR 2, as in the Sith Inquisitor. Only one class will actually live
Do you mean
by that
it'll be-
point. Let me finish.
Hold on, do you mean
Let me
by
finish.
canon the character that represents Darth Nox would actually survive into SWTOR 2?
Apparently.
As in,
There's gonna be a SWTOR 2.
Hang on.
Have
Pay
you
attention, you
Have you been?
idiot.
I know
No,
you're on the other side of the
no,
planet.
I
and
turned
you're
my
surrounded by like spiders
I'm
and shit.
extremely
Alright,
bored
hang
right
on,
now.
hang on,
turned
hang on,
my-
hang on. Let me finish.
I
Right.
turned my mumble off because I wanted to record this cutscene.
Who pulled?
We pulled. Okay, we pulled.
Watchers.
I will continue at the end of this.
You can continue right now.
Oh, I can't continue. Oh, your DBS gone.
So wait, Darcy, I didn't actually hear all that because I went away. So
'Cause you're a nerd.
SWTOR 2. Shut
Yeah,
up,
on
Vex.
Frostbite
Yeah,
3.
Try
in
not
3
being a
years.
nub!
Shut up, Vexus.
I didn't
No,
know you
no,
intend
that's
to
not,
make
that's
me,
not when
child.
SWTOR 2 will end. That's not when SWTOR 2 will come out. That's when this current game will end, apparently.
I'd say something.
Now,
So
a
SWTOR
large
2
majority
coming
of this is
earlier.
speculation and just overheard conversations and various messages from a meeting that was held. But most of it is legitimate. Some of it is a bit bull, but take it with a pinch of salt, right?
Hold
Put my
on.
level
So
55s.
Vishet is going to essentially be the next SWTOR,
Let me finish.
the next Star Wars trilogy.
No. He will have
The
some
ghost?
tie-ins to the main villain of Episode 7.
An off-screen influence.
So,
That's
Yeah.
really curious to me because isn't
our
Palpatine's
episodes-
essence still alive?
No, Palpatine's essence was destroyed by Han Solo.
Hey, hang on, everyone remember, canon, extended universe is not canon, as in the stories of Episode
Canada
7
Rock.
are...
Yeah, but
Episode
on the
7
other
is going to be
hand,
a
when George
completely
Lucas
different
says
story.
that, he was talking out of his ass.
Yeah, I know,
Hang on.
but he does that a lot. Churres!
Trez, you know that makes you a noob, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it does.
You're saying that
You're
like that, you
supposed to be
died,
good.
Lee.
I know, but still.
I got the world book.
Don't lie.
I did.
I saw you stood there. You walked.
Yeah, you were just standing there.
Again,
You
you tried to roll,
didn't.
but I
You didn't.
I see
I
you
did.
walk forward.
I fucking spent my world.
I was next to you.
I was watching
Hang on.
you.
Can I ask something, please?
Yes.
Are episodes 7, 8, and 9 gonna be based off Legacy of the Force?
No, none of the books are relevant.
Fuck.
It's already been mentioned. None of the extended universe, like they may take parts from the extended universe, but it is not going to be the same story.
That's some
Oh
bullshit.
god, is this gonna be like
It's
the
already
Spider-Man
been
reboot
mentioned.
where they try
I know
to
it is,
add-
that
Who needs a
Make any of
cleanse,
that
please?
bullshit.
Some sort of busy
Well, Luke
DBSing.
Skywalker.
Okay,
Well,
who needs cleanses? I'm gonna have to find it. Where is it? I don't know where my cleanse is. There it is. Thank
Hold
you,
on,
guys.
let the,
Healers, good
let
job.
the noob
Yeah, I'm
child
sorry, just
speak.
kept using myself. I'm more important than you.
Well,
Well,
Luke
Yeah, and you
Skywalker
died.
reestablished the Jedi Order.
Luke
That's
Skywalker
Yeah,
still
found the
he
Jedi
likely
did.
will
Order.
happen. But once again, we don't know what's going to happen in Episode 7, and it is not going to be the same story that was told in the books.
So no Sadus, no
No.
crate, none of that.
I don't know. I really hope the Yuuzhan Vong come back
I
though.
really
They're
want
awesome.
to see that
Yuuzhan
play.
Vong are awesome.
I know.
What's
But
that
I doubt
stupid?
it.
Nothing.
I like
Always
Sadus
taking
and Crate though. Those guys are alright.
So are we doing DP? Or...
Although I bet they
Yeah.
get rid of these really badass villains, but I bet they keep Talon.
Oh,
And I guess, and we all know why they're keeping Talon.
yeah. It's so
Yep.
still, man. Six cells, as they say.
Just ask any good
Does.
prostitute.
Yeah.
Literally.
Any good
Yes,
prostitute?
quite literally.
I didn't know there was good
Boran,
ones.
you're sort of getting to cleanse.
I'm sure there are some quality ones out there. I mean,
You know what? They can't, because we have, like, let's say, like, in this raid you're doing now, there's 16 of you.
Fuck.
But they would
Multiple
only
I
say
had no
4
idea.
of you.
Yeah, I think the way that they would handle the cannon is where, like, what I will get into more depth in this later on with the post, but what it is it's going to refer to your family tree, and the way that it links in is, like, you will choose a specific character to represent each class, and if you don't have that character, then it will, we don't know that yet. This is all, this is
The
like
hell are
all
you
the
talking
crazy
about?
stuff.
So
About the classes and canon.
is-
Like if you have two sort of Inquisitors, then they can't both be Darth Nox. Wouldn't make sense.
Yeah,
Because
that's
they
right.
So-
won't. So,
So,
what
okay,
will happen is the
hang
family
on.
tree will take effect then.
so it's 1.2.
What's the family tree hasn't had any relevance on canon because SWTOR isn't canon.
Let
Guys,
me
can you kill the
please
fingers,
ask
please?
something.
Hey, I'm trying to kill. I'm the only one
I
targeting
am
them.
killing the fingers.
I
I'll go
don't get
for
if
you.
this game isn't canon. I don't
The thing is, that's one part that people are confused about in this post. That bit doesn't make as much sense because if you have multiple classes, what are they going to do then? But the fact is, this is all work in progress. This is all very.
Kill me.
Yeah, heal left.
I'm at 0% HP. Kill
Juris,
me.
let serpents. Let others speak.
Oh my god.
Oh, so I can't speak, but Liv can speak, okay.
Okay, go on.
Alright. And stop. Before you go on, I need to ask a really quick question, and it will
Okay,
only take
ask.
a couple of seconds.
Go ahead. Don't ask.
So
just say it.
because I turned off my mum before a second, is SWTOR 2 going to be based off the expanded universe next?
No, because
No.
all the current canon is ignoring the expanded universe. Okay, I would like to direct you all to the Star Wars homepage and go read the post they put about the extended universe and about canon.
Can
I
you
can't
link
believe
it?
none
Yes,
of you. Yes, I will link it. I can't believe none of you have seen it because it details everything that's going to happen with the canon. Basically,
Surprised Dolby
anything
hasn't
that
done it.
isn't, everything that isn't, everything that isn't Episode 7, future books, and certain things that they specify is no longer canon
Hold
or
on.
was
Does
canon.
that mean that Jar Jar Binks is no longer canon?
No, because it was in the movies.
You just
That's
you
what
said
I
something
I
about the
meant
movie.
I meant all the movies. Like,
You got my hopes up there.
yeah, I'm sorry.
Wait, maybe
You-
he didn't survive that long. Just hope that.
You
much.
raised my hopes and dashed them quite expertly, sir.
I'm
Bravo.
so pleased. Thank you, sir.
No, that's just being British, I guess.
No, that's
Well, that's been
Futurama.
And Posh.
That's Futurama.
And Posh.
No, it's that crappy little orphan drop.
Yeah.
Bender. You know, Bender.
Francis
That guy's
impaled
awesome.
me.
Hey Zap,
They should make
Yeah,
my fanfiction canon.
Thank you.
I would watch that movie. Well, in fact, I am watching that movie by watching your YouTube, I suppose.
Great, you can take my healing place. I'll go DPS.
Yeah, it would be so nice. to see a
No,
movie
yeah,
about
fine,
Sonic.
I'll go do it.
So, right, referring to about the personal stories, sort of continuing in the next expansion. What will happen is one class, the Civ Inquisitor, will survive until Star Wars SWTOR 2, but that might change. They're going to use the appearance settings and dialogue based on the actions you chose in the game to basically put them into SWTOR 2. So any
Idea.
choices that you made.
So it's going to
Any-
be like Mass
what?
Effect.
Right. So there's going to be a New Game Plus option added in some ways, basically where you restart the storyline. Where there are going to be big bonuses for anyone that uses it, and some major tweaks to the leveling experience and early planets. For example, Coruscant will let you turn in most quests via holo calls instead of walking back.
Hold on,
And
sorry
you-
to interrupt. I'm just going to relog
Can I
quickly.
just say
Don't
one
kick me
thing
or
as
anything.
well?
Yep.
No, you interrupted my interrupting of Ladaza.
Yes, like you
Exactly.
don't interrupt.
I just want to
So-
say this one thing.
Go
I
on.
would
Well,
like
do
to
then.
just get through the main
Say
points,
it.
but go on.
There's a Jedi Guardian standing right in front of me,
Good
next
for
to
him.
a
So
Imperial soldier.
Hold on,
who
Laza.
cares?
What's your name to invite you to the group?
Crazed killer.
Crazed.
No, 0.0.
Oh, 0.0, yeah. Right.
Yeah.
Crazed killer is his
Yeah,
sensible.
I know, yeah. Right, so what is going to happen is New Game Plus is going to be important, as some characters that were previously not able to will become companions if certain story options are taken, and same-gender romance will be added. So yeah,
a bunch
good
of
job,
homophobes.
LucasArts. There will be some hefty rewards and updates to the original game that make going through New Game Plus for that new companion romance feel less painful if you don't want to do it, really. For example, a rocket boots type move for each class that is specific to each class, for instance, Civ Inquisitors riding lightning. And a class-specific mount granted at level 15 and then gets upgraded to a better appearance at level 30, so similar to the Paladin or the Warlock from WoW. I don't know if any of you are familiar with that, but they get their class mount. Left will know what I'm talking about.
I know as well.
The engine is going to be heavily revamped once again before SWTOR 2. Like, SWTOR 2 is a completely separate game apart from with links. So, right. So the engine's going to be revamped, and with the expansion, probably not the next one. It might be the next one, but it'll be the one after this that most of the stuff is coming in. The game will also have a complete revamp of all existing game systems and controls to somehow, this is the bit where I call bull, will apparently be brought to consoles as a buy-to-play title with a Cartel market.
Doubt it.
Meaning it'll probably be like $19.99 with Cartel market. Or something like that.
I'll play it on a console if I had a
I doubt that, honestly, but, you know, whatever.
20 button joystick.
Also, Togruta are going to be added, as well as some other ugly race, as he says.
So why haven't they been added by now?
Because there's only so many people on the development
The
team,
same
and
reason.
I think
Probably the
GSH
same
is more
reason.
important.
Probably the
Vexo
same
in the
reason
group?
that Cathar weren't added at launch. They want to space out their content.
That too.
Yeah.
Vexo in the group?
Remember I said
Cathar went to come out in 1.3,
Oh my God.
so...
Remember I said I'm relogging to send stuff over. I'll be back in a shower in a bit. Don't worry.
Yep.
I did hear that the Cathar was only a test, just
Yeah, it
for
was.
new
yeah.
races.
I like the Cathar, by the way. Zero looks amazing. I really like how the character looks.
I don't.
I feel
As
like
opposed
it's...
to the real life version?
No,
What,
as
a
opposed
giant
to the
Catwoman?
other characters. I feel like it's more detailed and stuff. You know, the face.
Hey,
Alright, let me continue then. Go on, Spog.
I just did the what's the name story because I haven't finished Oricon. What relic should I get?
Serendipitous Assault. Well, let me check
Arcanian.
what have you... yeah, Serendipitous Assault. Right, let me continue. So yeah, he says new species to Gruta and some other ugly thing. I imagine that's likely Rhodian, but Rhodian Jedi, Rhodian Sith, that'll be interesting.
Gruta is
if
not
that's
ugly.
possible. But what
That'd
about
be
a
Rhodian,
Bofin?
but-
Maybe a
Just
Bofin. No, Boffins, whatever. Maybe they'll be
I
possible.
want to be a Cellcath.
I think it's Barfin
Cellcath
because
Jedi.
we have a Barfin
Yeah,
on the
in,
Republic feed.
I want to
Yeah.
be that thing Master
up,
Quilljake
Spock.
is. What was his
Oh, yeah.
species?
Wait, Master Quilljay. What? That Cathar Flesh Raider, maybe?
No, not the Flesh Raider. The rock,
Weequay.
lifting the rock. Oh, no.
Oh,
not
no,
Oh,
no,
that
he
guy.
was
No, that's
Irathonian.
Ithorian, man.
Irathonian.
That's Ithorian.
Yeah.
Ithorian.
Ithorian.
Irathonian. What's the name?
What's Plo
Ithorian,
Koon's
that's
race?
it. Plo Koon.
Keldor.
Keldor, that's it, thank you. Yeah, so, right, what's going to happen with the gameplay in the expansion? We presumed, but yes, level 60 content. Where story appropriate, there will be cross-faction queues. Due to the conflict, I think that dealing with the Emperor is slightly more important than, you know, fighting the Republic or the Empire. So, yeah, cross-faction queues where the story is appropriate. There's going to be some
so
cross-faction
is the-
planets. Wait, what?
Is the Emperor like a Lone Ranger?
We don't know, but I'm just... whatever. So, there's going to be some cross-faction planets where you can work cooperatively with the other faction. On PvP servers, you can still flag yourself PvP on those planets, so you're not going to lose the open world PvP if, you know, whatever. New action mode will allow mouse look and change some of your moves to macros so that you can reduce the number of
Someone invite me
keybinds.
back. Just go for
Are they adding
Did-
joystick support to Galactic Starfighter?
I don't know, but they've already said that's something they want to do, but, you know, whatever.
Support what?
Joystick support for GSF.
Oh.
Are they
Um,
going to be different saber stances?
There already are.
No, I mean the way they hold
Actual
it.
animations. We
Yeah.
don't know about that. That's probably on the wall of crazy, if at all. Right, so yeah, appearance changer will be usable on most companions as well, including species change, if you want. So yeah, you could have
So
Malavai
does
as
that
a
mean I can turn Vet
Rodian,
into
yeah.
a Tigruda?
Can I just
Maybe,
ask something?
I don't
What
know.
do we need? Because we have 3 open
Three
spots.
healers. No.
healers.
Yeah,
I
3
think.
healers.
Yeah, 3 healers.
Swap
3
one
healers.
with one
Oh.
I
I'm a
will
healer.
heal if need be. Okay,
I'm a
2
healer, by the way.
healers. 2 healers, 1 DPS then.
No, Voan. Well, are you healing with us?
Wait, is
No,
point
I'm
out even
DPSing.
yeah.
Yes.
Voan is healing. No, Voan is DPSing and Breno is healing.
Yeah, so we got. Wait, Voland is DPSing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Then why is he in the heal column?
cause no, I don't have up to 10 seconds. Change.
Left, can you give? He's not in the group.
Just swap it with me.
T to the units.
Okay, I'm back. Let's do it. Zaf.
Welcome back.
Someone invite me back to the group as well.
Let me go over what I just mentioned, Vex.
Zaf.
Someone look
great.
for healers, please. On
Yeah,
the
I
back.
need that main hand.
Yes.
Right. Okay. Right.
Okay, good.
Vex. Let me just go over what I mentioned before. So most level 60 content will involve cross-faction queues. Is someone eating?
Oh, that's me. Sorry.
Yeah. Well, mute your mic. So yeah, most level 60 content is going to include cross-faction queues where the story is appropriate.
Okay.
And there's going to be some cross-faction planets where you can work cooperatively with the other faction. I'm going over this for Vex,
Yes,
just so you know.
I really,
But on PvP
Continue.
stoves, you can still flag yourself for PvP.
Right.
A new action mode that will allow mouse look. I assume that means, like, you know, where you can move the mouse, move your camera with the mouse instead of holding the right mouse button. Or something, I
Right.
don't know.
that
And
would be
changes to some of your moves so that you can use macros to reduce your number of keybinds. Appearance change on companions, most companions, including species change, and same-sex romance for most companions, including a few new romance options, for instance, Jace Alyside.
Oh.
That is something I've been waiting for.
Ooh.
And
Hold on, I'm
Right,
still not certain what the hell is a new game plus thing, so I don't know if we're playing through it again or what.
it's we don't know. Once again, this is all like wall of crazy, strange stuff that they're just coming up with, and I mean, most of it is pretty
Oh, that guy's
definitive.
got them out.
Quite a lot of it is BS, but some of it is
Usually, New Game Plus is keeping the things you've accomplished or you've gotten through your last
just
playthrough
going
and
through the
starting
game
new.
again.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this is going to be a slightly different version of New Game Plus because obviously you got the different companions and the special mounts and upgrades and stuff like that. But yeah, right. I don't
So does
want
that
to
mean
mention
potentially
that because
we could
these are
have a
spoilers.
sorcerer healer?
Please mention it. Or
Right.
just put it in ops chat actually, if you. Fair enough,
Or just
that's
mention
spoilers.
Guys, can I just
Yeah.
say something
Right.
real
Okay.
quick?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I'm locked out on the first two
So-
bosses, so
So if
I'll
you
be
had
joining
to
on
That's
choose
We
not
can wait for you then.
which one would you
That's not
choose?
a
Stop
problem.
interrupting everyone. Delora, we can go to the second boss and then invite you then maybe.
Yeah, sure. Just
Robert
I'll be,
Halo,
I'll be
push
waiting.
it
Yes,
I'll
we're looking
be
for healers.
crafting or something. I mean, I'm DPS,
So
so
if
you
you had
won't
to
really
choose a
mention it.
Jace or a Vet, which one would you choose?
I've already chosen Vet.
That probably.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
I'd choose
Really?
Vet.
It's an obvious choice.
Right,
Well,
okay.
considering I have a Sith Juggernaut that isn't really high enough level to do any of that,
Right,
Light Side Jason would
spoilers.
probably be my
Spoiler
thing.
alert.
I would marry
Incoming
my
ending alert.
Of
So,
So
Vex,
is it-
how do you
Well,
feel?
it could be
Shut the
changed.
hell up and let Lidaza talk.
I have one question though.
Tough.
What?
Would that same gender romances apply to every character or just
No,
certain ones?
most of them.
I would be fucking
If
gay with
it
Simple. I
would
would.
not do all of them, it would make no sense whatsoever. I'm
I would
glad that
fuck
some of
the
them
fuck
are
out
not
of
well,
it,
well,
Simple, I
but,
would.
yeah. It wouldn't make any sense for every
I
single
would fuck
companion in
the
the
fuck
game
out
to
of
be
Simple.
suddenly bi, but whatever.
Do it
Fuck
on your
around the
do it on
pussy.
a male.
Right.
agent.
Okay, right.
Here's a new thing, wait
Spoiler
and see.
alert. Spoiler alert. Right, so Vex, how do you say his name again?
Vishet.
Vishet. Yeah.
Vichiate.
Fishy.
Vitiate.
Why don't we
Lord
just call the
Vishet
Emperor?
has...
Shut up!
Thank you. Lord Vishet has...
I meant it.
Yes, so shut it, basically. You too, Churris, and stop eating, child.
I'm not even eating.
I don't care.
I
It
have
sounds
no-
like it's someone smacking their lips together or something.
Uh huh. Got a problem.
Hey, Robert Halo, can
Right.
you actually have Chris to talk
Let
to?
Lidaza speak.
Yeah, right. You know what? Okay, Churris, that's just
God,
cracking,
I-
alright?
Shut up, please.
Right, everyone, just shut up. Mute your mics. If you have nothing important to say, just mute yourself, alright? Thank you.
Okay.
Right. Not use that if you're too important. Right. Right, so Lord Vishet, whatever, has regained his power for the most part. His 300-year link to Revan allowed him to subsume? Is that even a word?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay, I'll have to ban you if you don't stop.
subsume Revan at the end of Foundry. The two are basically now one, with a mostly integrated personality, although both sides will have chances to flash
Hold on,
at
can
the
you repeat
forefront.
that? I was reading something.
Yep.
Yeah, I was banning someone.
His 300-year link to Revan allowed him to subsume Revan at the end of Foundry. The two are now one mostly integrated personality, although both sides will have chances to flash to the forefront. He has also been able to absorb power from the deaths, quotation marks, of many powerful Force users, for instance Darth Thanaton, Lord Barriss if you actually killed him. Same thing for like Seo Bakan
And the
or
Dreadmasters,
Jadus.
surely.
So he's like the Lich King of Star Wars.
Yeah, so obviously you've killed a lot of powerful Sith during all the various storylines, and apparently the Emperor has had their essences on tap. And if you choosing to spare various Sith will make Vishet a bit weaker for your account. So he has assembled a host of what are basically all the enemies that have been fought in SWTOR: Directive 7, Dread stuff, some cosmic horrors.
Oh, I love Directive 7. That guy's like the MCP from Tron.
Not all of them realise that they are being directly controlled by him, who is clicking, please stop, instead acting as puppets, but they serve his purposes, basically. So, each of the 8 characters, yes, you know, storylines, will take on a major role in opposing Vishet's new attempt to absorb all life in the galaxy and become a god, essentially. Interestingly, many characters and companions will appear in each other's storylines and will have...
fucking stop.
Robert.
Oh, I muted him, so I don't hear him.
Yep.
No, it's
We're clicking!
No, that's not what we were
Use push
talking
to
about,
talk,
child.
please.
Or you could just mute him.
Yeah.
Just wipe it.
While we're off topic, shall we try 8-man because we're 11 right now?
Maybe.
So
But yeah,
He's
let me
8-man
continue.
easier on D2.
Right, so yeah. So many characters and companions will appear in each other's storyline and will make dialogue choices that your character would make based on light side or dark side alignment. So if your character is light side, they will not go and shoot a person in the face in the other person's storyline. Some combinations will have flirt options and between various characters and companions, and some dialogue options will change based on how your characters are placed in the family tree. For instance, rude options if you've chosen them as a rival, or some indication of family or alliance relationships. No, you won't be able to flirt with your family members if you have them as a brother. Even if this is Star Wars, you can't flirt with them, alright? So,
if only it were Game of Thrones.
The planetary story arcs will all deal with differing elements of fighting Vishet and what he's doing. Many planets will be returned to for new level 55 plus content. Korriban and Typhon are important because Vishet gets some powers from these planets and some ancient droids and force weapons. Also, I mean, you know, the heart of the Force and one of the main sources of the dark side energy, I think they're pretty important, you know. The Imperial Agent story will deal with infiltrating elements of the Republic and Sith fleet that have been secretly taken over by the Emperor. Long series of manipulations will lead the two sides of Vishet's stolen fleet fighting one another while the Imperial Agent assassinates most of the leaders of Vishet's navy. The Jedi Knight storyline will be very dark, with one companion, I think you can guess who, being forced back into Vishet's sway at intervals.
Well, you kind of spoiled it with just saying back in.
Yeah, I know. The Emperor will also be closely connected to you and try to take over your mind at times, similar to end of Act 2, was it?
Let's just say Kira Carson.
Yeah, I don't think I had to say who it was, did I? You know, given the fact I said back and, you know, who you know, I'm going to bother.
No, hold on. I thought you were talking. I was talking about with the invading the mind shit. I wasn't talking
no,
about
this is you,
back and
you, as in you.
Yeah, I know. I was just saying.
You,
I was saying.
Matthew.
I was saying. Don't call me that.
You don't like being called your no name.
No.
Okay.
I was talking about like when.
Go on.
No, Luke.
No, shut up. But are you going to finish?
No. You wanna know why? Because
Okay,
I forgot what I was saying.
That's so great.
You're welcome. This will lead to the Jedi, because of your mind constantly being taken over by the Emperor. This will lead to the Jedi Council trying to rein you in and keep you from going on missions, essentially forcing the Jedi Knight to ask mostly, ask and do things without the support of the Jedi Republic. The Knight will attempt to assassinate. Right, okay, this is going to get
Major spoilers.
heavy spoilers, Inc. The Jedi Knight will attempt to assassinate Vishet and fail, losing a companion's life.
I'm not gonna lie,
Which one?
I can't
I
understand
don't
what
know.
you're saying.
Well, then use
Did
English.
it say a companion's life or
A
the
companion's
companion?
life. And
Alright.
the, you have more than one.
Yeah, I'm just saying because it was
So we
mainly.
could possibly choose.
So the ship droid's
So-
gonna die.
It's
Send a ship droid on the assassination of the Emperor.
Finally, I can
Him
send
die.
C2N2 to kill him.
Of course,
I have, like, I know what that knight's been going through. I'm doing you a mercy for this. Dead, stupid droid. Right, there will actually be a branching story where the Jedi Knight can turn to the dark side if he is not already and gain enhanced dark side power. At least one companion will turn on you if you choose to do this.
That's fine.
So
Well,
it's
so it's
basically
becoming a bit
doing
more like
KOTOR.
KOTOR.
And the
Yeah.
Jedi Knight will then
Yeah.
focus on defense, using powerful force artifacts to create barriers to Vishet's attempts to drain all life from the universe. These arcs will get assaulted by the most powerful enemies Vishet can muster, and it will be the Jedi Knight's job to defend them, defend the arcs.
it sounds a lot like Mass Effect when you think about
He will
it.
get to begin his ritual.
Yeah,
Let
it's
me
not
just
bad.
get this out here. He will begin the ritual, and stuff's gonna go down. And basically, the primary arc located on Coruscant, that'll be the Knight's job. Protect it at all matter, or no, at every cost, just any cost.
Yeah.
Protect that. Light side choices will allow the Jedi Knight to sacrifice themselves. They will become a Force ghost that can still take corporeal form. The dark side choice allows the arc to be destroyed instead, but the Jedi Knight gains access to powerful dark side alternative visuals for some moves. So yeah, that'll be pretty interesting. The Civ Inquisitor.
So
will
it's like
hunt
get cool visuals or die.
basically.
Okay.
It's like-
you get to become a ghost, which is
yes.
Okay.
Yeah, Force Ghost.
After all
Force
this
Ghost
con-
can still take corporeal form. That's pretty cool. Come on.
Does that
Right,
mean you can still do
That's light
things?
side option.
I mean,
After all
you
this
still have like a
content-
physical boom.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
How
The
did they
Civ
know a
Inquis-
price yet? Sorry.
A price.
We'll be able to
For
make
the
children.
SWTOR,
That's
2.
what-
No.
With all this new content, you still get to.
Because I'm
get
probably
Bex,
quite-
you done typing that to me?
Of course not.
Because I'm probably gonna pre-order that
Right,
as soon as it.
yeah, well, you're gonna have to wait a
Bought
few
in
years.
multiple. Hold on, is this all SWTOR 2 stuff?
No, this is SWTOR 1.
I was gonna say.
I would
Okay, oh,
say
okay,
Vex
go.
could do.
I'm going through the class storylines, and also, like, Vex, like, all the stuff that I mentioned before, everything that I mentioned now is SWTOR 1. We don't know anything
Okay.
about SWTOR 2 except the fact it will likely be run on Frostbite 3. So, you know, all this is current game stuff. This is likely the next expansion or the expansion after.
Well,
Probably the
certainly
expansion
beats,
after.
Pre-ordering.
certainly beats McKeb, can't it?
Yeah, it
I'm
does.
definitely
yeah.
pre-ordering that.
The Civ Inquisitor will hunt down various artifacts, force users, and even some ghosts that aid in Vishet's power. The Civ Inquisitor will have no choice but to take the power for themselves. You know, if you're dark side, you'll love it. If you're light side, well, that's a lot of power to handle. Leading to visions that will show the Civ Inquisitor like what is taking place with Vishet essentially becoming a god. And as the story progresses, and spoiler alert, Darth Maul is killed. You take over leadership of the Empire.
Bueno will be
You ruined
emperor
it.
in the end of the
Ruined
day.
it.
You have
You
multiple
ruined my
options to
eardrums.
waste resources by attacking the Republic to your own benefit, or you can form an alliance which will lead to Vishet's destruction. The Civ Inquisitor gets the option to take Vishet's place and become a cosmic force entity, killing all those that Vishet would have killed, but taking the power for themselves.
Oh, I'd go for that
And,
as Inquisitor.
the Civ
Screw everyone
Inquisitor
else.
passes off this choice to others by saying Vishet already did it. Apparently, so maybe you have a choice in that. The Consular will lead the Jedi Council. This is the strange bit. I think that, personally, the Knight story and the Consular story should be swapped around. But apparently, the Consular will lead the Jedi Council's efforts in the war. You can
Wow.
make peace with the Empire, or launch several surprise attacks and take some of the Empire's
Peace.
forces for yourself.
So many legacy ideas.
You will
Basically,
focus
DK
mostly
Bray,
on
you're a
macro-level
monster.
conflicts and getting all the chess pieces in place for the final assault. And you will have the option to destroy Korriban.
No, no,
Yes.
no.
Even if that was true, then it wouldn't happen because
You're really on
Korriban's...
strike now.
Isn't
You
Korriban still there in the...
Before we continue talking about
just under a different name.
Yeah.
can we just get the
It's more
battles
advanced.
going?
Let me finish.
Go on.
Right, yeah, I'll try and get this done quick. So yeah, Bounty Hunter is
Oh.
actually the one that is going to kill Vishet
Hold on, who is
while
that?
while
Bounty
he's in the middle of his dark side
Oh,
ritual.
yes.
Building
Hold
up
on,
to
no,
this
that's-
point, you
that's-
will assassinate a huge
that's
amount of important characters in both the
basically-
Empire and the Republic. Let me finish. I'm almost done.
Uh.
Anyone standing in the way of destroying Vishet is efficiently and effectively eliminated by you, and the Voss will help the Bounty Hunter to become resistant to the Force attacks prior to the showdown with the Emperor. So if
basically,
you think
Bounty
like, how
Hunter's
can
the
a
main
bounty
person.
hunter survive, you know, an onslaught by the Emperor? Well, the Voss are helping him, you know, resist Force attacks.
Why would the Voss help him though?
Because they can.
Don't.
Well,
Because they
so
do want
don't.
to
He
stay
took
you
them
expect the
over.
boss let the galaxy burn, really?
Well, from what they're sounding like, they just want to stay
Well,
themselves.
if a mystic
But
says
they
that they
stay
should
And
neutral.
would
use,
they be able to
Nothing
if the
says that they're
galaxy
not
got
staying
destroyed?
neutral anymore, but there's the fact that, you know, the Empire and Republic might not exist.
I just don't
So-
think you want to die, to be honest.
Yeah, yeah,
I bet
basically.
there's a big bounty on the Empire.
I'll be honest, I
I'm
don't think it
taking
would have
it.
occurred
It's
to anyone
fine.
in the Republic to put a bounty
It's
on
fine.
our Vishet.
So,
just like Steel Tron going, I got it, why didn't I think of this before? I can put a bounty on the Emperor!
I know, right?
So the Sith Warrior will get the option to actually play in support of Vishet, obviously since, you know, the Emperor's wrath. However, at the end of the story, he will betray you and attempt to kill
okay.
you, so you don't actually get to help him fully destroy the universe as much as you might want to.
Aw.
There is
I
some,
don't wanna
there is
go
some
there really
arguing
surprised
there is some arguing internally right now that, like, for non-canon endings to allow something like that to happen.
Good.
But we don't know yet. Basically, you'll get wrapped up in the Emperor's orders and, like, you know, and various organizations, and you have the light side option to betray him as much as possible at some cost to yourself, or just go dark side and simply act as his hand. You'll come under as many attacks. You'll come under attacks from many sides, including the Sith Inquisitor and the Bounty Hunter.
I have to
Hey,
say,
Ludaza,
I have to
Yes.
say, this
Yes.
sounds like
Vex, you're
someone's
can you
going
very
down.
respect so I can
in-depth.
join the group?
Maybe.
You don't have
What's
the
called-
AC.
Yeah, you
I-
don't have those.
I
I
have
need
better
to
gear.
finish, guys.
I
Let
just
me
want to
get
say,
annoyed.
this sounds like someone's very in-depth fan fiction.
mine.
Well, this was from a meeting, apparently.
Is
so.
that not what canon is to a degree?
Yeah, look at that.
Fair
Yeah.
enough.
Right, the smuggler will essentially be an evacuator, because
Oh.
as many planets fall to Vishet, you will extract essential personnel from both the Republic
That's a
and the
bit
Empire.
crap.
Yeah.
Oh my
You can
god,
just
he's
use-
actually
or you
turned
can
into
just
a
use the
real-life Han
information to try
Solo.
and defeat him. Helping a
shut
powerful
up.
light side Sith early on will give your ship the ability to ignore many of the force barriers and powers that Vishet will use, and you will get the option to save the lives of 2 of the other player characters at various points in the story, and will get the option to have T7 join your crew. You will also
is that-
seek out some of the parts and designs that will allow the arcs that will resist Vishet to be built. 1 second.
Okay.
Oh,
This is so
someone
confusing.
has to do it.
Okay, I need to go soon.
I just have to say one thing.
Yes, be quick. I
From
need
the
to finish.
cinematic where the Sith
Right, you know
take
what,
over
actually, I need to finish
Korriban,
now. Right, yeah, but yeah, right, you can mention that, Alex. I actually do need to go, so I'll try and finish. The Trooper, this is a bit confusing. The Trooper is sent to help the Empire prepare for the attack, and when the Republic
Empire?
the Republic learns of it first. The Sith Inquisitor charges him with the defense of Korriban from one of Vishet's first attacks. You get multiple options to either weaken the Empire or keep their forces to help fight Vishet. Throughout the story, you basically earn the respect of Imperial citizens and oppose and can even kill Sith Lords who seek personal power or craziness instead of fighting, you know, the main threat. And you end up leading many combined forces of Imperial and Republic forces against Vishet. Your
want
character
this.
becomes a main reason that the two sides can work together on the missions, that they are surprisingly successful against Vishet, and will allow the other characters to conduct the business that they are doing. The Trooper will get mentioned in in quite a lot of planetary quests. So basically what will happen is the way the story will end is Vishet will be about 25% successful with his plans. Most planets near the core experience significant loss of life, except for the ones that had force artifacts shielding them via some of the storylines, and the ones that had some protection through deception. For instance, the Imperial agent might get a planet to pretend to be allied with Vishet to protect it. Elder game content will involve rebuilding the galaxy, as the Republic and Sith Empire have basically crumbled, and the galaxy is a lot more lawless than it once was. And the final patch of the game will involve warlords rising to power. This will set up for the next MMO, which will take place about 100 years later, in a time period where the Republic and the Sith Empire don't exist as they do now. Instead, players will then choose, this is SWTOR 2 now, will choose between multiple factions that have various relationships with each other, and the Republic will be a monarchy that exists mostly only on Coruscant, with influence on a few other worlds, but will be able to be partially restored as the next game progresses. And the Sith forces will be divided into multiple factions. But what will happen is obviously your character will get imported into the next game. Some scenes will just be recorded holograms, such as the Bounty Hunter taking down Vishet, but some of the characters will play a major role. For instance, the Sith Inquisitor is alive and well because of absorbing Vishet's power, and there'll be a major player on at least one planet of the next MMO, and the Jedi Knight Force Ghost will be quite influential if you went for the light side option. So yeah.